and it goes down smooth. Hey!
Now it's time for Toker Talk Radio, the voice of the marijuana nation.
What are you people? On dope?
Where you can toke.
I inhale frequently.
Or you can talk.
I experimented with marijuana and didn't inhale.
Or you can toke and talk.
10 federal criminal penalties for possession of up to 1 ounce of marijuana.
While we talk about toke on Toker Talk Radio.
So, by the way, when it comes to pot, you know, if you're 40 years old, you live in a log cabin in Oregon, you got 12 giant pot plants in your backyard, have a ball.
Live from beautiful Portland, Oregon at Rolla J Studios.
Hey, this is great.
Just not cannabis.
Plus your calls live at 971-533-7111.
They're walking on their pants with their cap on backwards, listening to Enema Man and Snoopy Poop Dog.
What's to keep somebody from getting all potted up on weed and then getting behind the wheel? Gateway theory doesn't work. It's a reality.
Holland, is it real? Don't tease me.
We're locking up people that take a couple of puffs of marijuana, and the next thing you know, they got 10 years.
And now, here's your host, the guru of ganja graphics, the sultan of sativa statistics, and the worst nightmare of a reefer mad prohibitionist. A polite, perspicacious, productive pothead with a propensity for PowerPoint. Radical Russ Belville.
Welcome back, everybody. Time for Toker Talk Radio. It's 4:02 Pacific Time Zone. I was just reading the chat room. Somebody was writing out the lyrics to "If I Only Had a Brain." Cultivator was, so I was motivated to whistle. Welcome back, everyone. So glad to have you here, and we're talking a little bit today about your brain and marijuana. And look, I have to admit that I'm quite biased on the issue, because I feel like the only way I'm able to pay rent and make a living in this world is because of my brain and this nice gift in my vocal cords that gives me this sexy baritone voice. Still, the brain has to control what that thing is saying, and usually does a pretty good job. Not always. But as someone who makes his living by his brain, right? I've taught computer science. I've been a professional musician. I'm a writer now. I write for numerous magazines, and I do public speaking and presentations. I would hate to be using a substance that would have any detrimental effect to my brain. That would be terrible. I wouldn't want to do something that would make me less able to perform my duties. And so, as someone who's been smoking marijuana on a fairly consistent basis for about 25 years now, this July 4th, it'll be 25 years of smoking marijuana, my silver pot anniversary. But after 25 years of smoking marijuana, from my perspective, and admittedly it would be a biased perspective, I don't see declines. I don't see any cognitive declines. I feel like my writing, if anything, has gotten better. My ability to put on shows has gotten better. So I have yet to see this. Now, maybe from the outside, maybe someone on the outside might note that perhaps in 1987 I was far more eloquent. I don't know. And to me, it's a little incorrect. It's not quite the right way to go about finding out what sort of declines there have been based on silly things like IQ tests and rote memorization quizzes and all of this. I feel that all an IQ test, and believe me, folks, I was one of those nerd kids in school, right? I was always the one in the special class, right? So I've taken my share of standardized tests. And what I discovered is that standardized tests are really good at discerning whether or not you're good at taking standardized tests. And that's about it. That's about all they determine. I've never given much credence to the idea of IQ. Some of the stupidest people I've known are some of the ones with the highest IQs. And some of the wisest people I've known would struggle to break 100 on an IQ test. So there's the dynamic of what is our cognitive ability and how our brains function. To me, it feels almost improper to put a flat standard on that, like a number to assign to that. You know, you want to measure something else, right? You want to measure my vertical leap? Well, that's fair, right? Jump so high, hit that little thing, and that's how high you can jump. And judge my bench press? Sure, you know, I can bench press this many pounds, right? But how many pounds I bench press isn't going to tell you how good an NFL offensive lineman I am. How high my vertical leap isn't going to tell you how good of a center I am for a basketball team. Okay, power forward. But still, you know what I'm saying? So taking this measurement of IQ and trying to discern that marijuana has had a detrimental effect on the brains of people who use it, based on that alone, seems to be completely not the way we would determine how this is working. See, maybe marijuana's had an effect. It's affected my thesaurus. There we go. But you get what I'm getting at here is that our brains, our minds, our personalities, our abilities, our wisdom, our soul, our spirit, our intellect are too varied to be set to one particular standard. And we've seen how this standardized testing can be biased against minorities. It can be biased against people from different cultures, biased against people with different language abilities and so forth. And maybe, just maybe, it's biased against people whose brains have been opened up due to marijuana or psychedelic use. Be something for us to investigate. And I'd like to talk to Dr. Mitch a little bit more about this. We'll take a break and we'll discuss this a little further when we come back. Stick around.
Elitist. Just like any other dishwashing, burger-flipping, public school-educated, self-employed, bar band, musician, National Guardsman, he's Radical Russ.
Speed limit in the chat room's going off about those Rob Lowe Comcast commercials. Or DirecTV commercials, excuse me. Meathead Rob Lowe. I can't stop saying bro. My wife loves those commercials. I love them. They're great. I saw someone with a meme the other day that said, which one of the Rob Lowe's is the one that made the creepy underage sex tape? Oh yeah, that was the real Rob Lowe. Ooh, burn. We'll be back right after this. .420 Radio, the world's voice of marijuana legalization. This is Radical Russ encouraging you to take a look at the Weed Blog every day. Johnny Green and the staff at the Weed Blog are on top of all the latest developments in the fight to end marijuana prohibition nationwide. You can even get the Weed Blog on your smartphone by installing the Weed Blog app for iPhone and Android. If it's about weed, it's on the Weed Blog, including my original writing. So don't delay. Read the Weed Blog today.
Fun.
What's happening, cool cats? This is Big Daddy, and I want you to cruise on over to the Funky Roller Rink. We'll be grooving all night long. Doors open at 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific, every Thursday night, right here on RadicalRuss.com.
Funky-licious.
Sir, do you think there will or should come a time for us to discuss the possibility of legalization, regulation, and control of all drugs, thereby doing away with the violent criminal market as well as a major source of funding for international terrorism? Thank you so much for your time, Mr. President.
Well, I think this is an entirely legitimate topic for debate.
Name the time and place, Mr. President. Radical Russ has been prepping for this debate full-time since 2005. The Russ Belville Show.
Welcome back, everyone. It's 10 after the hour. That's music from Clang, Deeper Meaning. And remember, a reminder to stay tuned. At 4:20, we've got our daily Toker tunes for Electric Tuesday. Electric Bob will be in with some great tracks here. I believe it's Missy Mayakos? Probably mispronouncing that. Samayakos? Sounds Greek. It's all Greek to me. Anyway, that'll be coming up for Electric Tuesday at 20 after. Make sure you stay tuned for that. Also, Electric Bob's Boogaloo, our 8 p.m. music show is coming up. 8 p.m. Pacific time. We always have a music show on tap for you. So stay tuned for that as well. 24-hour marijuana legalization here on 420radio.org. I'm Radical Russ. Welcome back to Toker Talk Radio. We're discussing marijuana and the brain. More specifically, marijuana and your brain. And has the effect of marijuana been a mental positive for you? Our phone lines are open at 971-533-7111. Do you feel marijuana makes you smarter? Or if it doesn't make you smarter, does it make you less dumb? Or does it not do anything at all? Has it not changed your mind at all? If you've got any experiences you'd like to share with the audience, feel free to call in. It's 971-533-7111. I can tell you in my own experience, one of the things, the first aspect of marijuana that I took seriously was its effect on creativity. I've told many times how I moved to Oregon in 2003 and didn't really get involved in marijuana activism till 2005. I've had 25 years of pot smoking experience, but it's only been in the past 10 that I've really been serious about it. And I mean that in kind of a double entendre way too, right? Because like my first 15 years of pot smoking was like, hey, there's some pot, we'll smoke it, great. And then if there's not some pot, oh, all right, whatever. Right? Pot was a nice thing to have. It was enjoyable. It was like going out for fast food or something, though. It wasn't something I did every day or would want to do every day. But since I've moved to Oregon and had increased access and gotten more political about it, I'm like a full-on weed head, man. I'm like a, use the vapor pen every other hour kind of guy, right? So I at least thought that maybe there'd be some difference between, 1990 to 2005, Russ, as far as mental capacity and all that, and then 2005 to 2015, Russ, who's been smoking like a chimney. And I haven't found it. I really try to come up with and I have, files and writing and analysis and presentations that I've done going back to the 90s. I mean, I had a full-on corporate career. I was a jet-setting database consultant back in the days when they had this new fancy technology called SQL. Ooh. And I flew all over the country and I did this high-end database programming when it was, very brand new. I was one of the national experts in this stuff. And I don't feel any dumber. I mean, I feel dumber in the fact that the database world has passed me by and there's technologies that exist now that I am clueless about. But I feel that if you plop me right back into that era, I would still be just as smart and able to perform my duties as I always was. But really, the first aspect I got of marijuana being a creative thing was in the 90s because I was playing music for a living. And playing bass. I was a singer in a rock and roll band, to quote the band song. Actually, it's not the band. Who did that song? Just a singer in a rock and roll band. Is that Moody Blues? No. Is that one of them? Supertramp? No. Is that crap? I forget. But anyway, playing music, I found a significant difference in using marijuana versus not. There was also a significant difference using alcohol and not, and the difference there was I couldn't play for shit when I was on alcohol. But with marijuana, what I found, and to debunk real quick, people say that marijuana makes you creative. I don't believe that. I don't believe marijuana makes you creative. I think you are creative or you're not creative, and marijuana can help unlock that. But again, just like, my bench pressing 400 pounds isn't going to make me an all-pro offensive lineman. Neither is, your ability to smoke pot going to turn you into Picasso or Jimi Hendrix, right? You got to have the underlying talent in the first place. But I really believe that given that underlying talent, given any level of creativity you have, that cannabis use can help unlock that. And for me, and I can't speak to how it works for other people, but for me, the process by which that works is that it silences my inner critic. And maybe, I don't know how other creative people are, but myself as a creative person, I find that I have all these creative ideas and my brain has this little compartment in it that tears them apart. Right? It's that same part of my brain that tears apart, Kevin Sabet and tears apart, Nora Volkow and all these prohibitionists, right? It's the same part of my brain that tears apart any sort of intellectual exercise I'm given, but it's extremely cruel and nitpicky when it comes to criticizing myself, right? Back when I was a musician, if it came time to write a song, for instance, I'd start to write a song and I'd think, well, this is a stupid song. This is stupid. What a stupid song. There's nothing creative here. It's 3 chords. It's stupid. Right? Now, I'm not saying the song may have been stupid. It may have sucked, but I would preemptively kill the song myself before I give anyone else a chance to hear it. And then there's a part that goes, yeah, you're going to write anything that's going to compare it to Lennon and McCartney. You're going to write anything that's compared to Page and Plant. You're going to write anything that compares to Eric Clapton. That's this evil little critic voice I've got in there, right? And the silly part of that is the fact that when Lennon and McCartney were writing, they were writing silly shit too. I mean, come on. She loves you, yeah, 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 is some silly shit. But you don't criticize. As a creative person, one of the best pieces of advice I ever got was, your job is not to create. Your job is not to criticize. Your job is to create. It's someone else's job to criticize. Write the damn song, write the damn poem, write the damn story, and leave it to others to criticize it. They don't have the power to create, only the power to hate. Now, I thought that was pretty mobilizing, but still, there's a roadblock for me in getting past that, and that was that inner critic inside of me that I could not get to shut up. But once I started using cannabis, that inner critic said, yeah, man, give it a shot. Hey, that song sounds pretty good, dude. Oh, that story, that's pretty funny, right? I'll post that. And really, from about 1995 on, as I was really starting to, use cannabis more and more, is when I started to notice that I was becoming more prolific. And now, I was on, blogging, a daily blogger, and holding down a full-time job and playing music at night. Stuff that I don't think, a workload that I couldn't have handled without marijuana. And as I used it, I found it killed that inner critic and allowed me to become more prolific and allowed me to realize that, hey, the stuff I do is pretty cool too. May not be the coolest thing ever, but it's not the shittiest thing ever either. And I'm okay with that. And I'm just wondering if that's the way it works for other people. Do other people get that really what it's doing is it's just kind of silencing the negative influences in yourself? And that's what allows marijuana to help you develop better? Maybe. And that's the way it's working for me. And I've noticed now, over the past 10 years, where I've had much greater access to marijuana and used it more often, that writer's block is a non-existent thing for me. Just today, I had deadlines that I had to meet, and I knocked out 4 articles, 2 900-word articles, a couple of 400-word articles, and didn't even, no rough drafts, nothing, man. No outlines. I just sit down and go and type it out and maybe arrange a sentence here or two, here or there, maybe move a paragraph or something, but pretty much it forms up in my brain and it spits out onto the screen. Would I be at that level without marijuana? I can't know because I've been using marijuana for 10 years. But what I do know is it doesn't seem to have hurt my ability to be prolific and my ability to create these things. And we'll see over time. Maybe we'll see if there's any degradation. That's why I keep doing this day after day. I'm probably some sort of great case study.
Well, what the hell is supposed to do, you moron?
Oh, sometimes Meaure just picks the most perfect sound breaks. What I think we should do is lighten up a little bit. Let's take a 420 break. It's 420 here on the West Coast. We got Electric Bob calling in for our daily Toker tunes. We'll get to that just right after the break. Stick around. You're listening to the Russ Belville Show. You can get 420 Radio on the go with our Shoutcast stream for all internet-enabled media players. Go to rad-r.us/420shout or just click the Shoutcast icon below the live radio feed at 420radio.org. The International Cannabis Business Conference is coming to the Hyatt Regency Hotel in San Francisco, California, February 15th and 16th, 2015. Don't miss this exclusive opportunity to hear from the experts on the future of marijuana commerce, including scientists like Dr. Carl Hart, Dr. Amanda Ryman, and Dr. Stanton Peel, policy experts like Ethan Nadelman from Drug Policy Alliance, Anthony Johnson from Oregon's Legalization Campaign, travel author Rick Steves from Washington's Legalization Campaign, and California legalization pioneer Dale Sky Jones. Business experts like Harborside Steve D'Angelo, ArcView Group's Troy Dayton, and UFCW union leader Dan Rush. Cannabis journalists like Ricardo Baca, Steve Bloom, and Doug Fine, and California Republican Congressman Dana Rohrabacher, plus many, many more. Tickets are on sale now at internationalcbc.com, but hurry, last year's conference in Portland, Oregon was a sellout. International Cannabis Business Conference, San Francisco, California, February 15th and 16th, internationalcbc.com. Tokers, there's no good reason to get your dog stoned. While it might not harm them physically, imagine being a dog who already begs for treats all day, and then imagine that dog having the munchies. Not cool.
Georgia. Hi, this is Willie Nelson. Alcohol prohibition didn't work in the 1920s, and marijuana prohibition isn't working today. It's time we stopped arresting responsible marijuana smokers. It's the fair thing to do.
For more information, contact NORML, the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. Call toll-free 888-67-NORML or visit their website at norml.org.
Everyone knows music and marijuana go together, so let's wind up our 20 after break with the Russ Belville Show's Daily Toker Tunes, the best in pod-safe 420 music from around the web. Today is Electric Tuesday, featuring the latest in electronic dance music and other cutting-edge genres. Now, sit back and enjoy your Daily Toker Tune.
Welcome back, everyone. 23 and a half after the hour, and joining us for Electric Tuesday, we've got Electric Bob, who I'm always glad to see your Skype come up, Bob, because you've got that picture of Carl Sagan in the turtleneck and the caption, "Dude, what? Perfect for today."
Dude, what?
Dude.
I know, right? How you doing, Russ?
Fantastic. I mean, that was perfect for our brain talk today. Dude, what?
Right, yeah, I saw you on that one.
What's happening, man? Getting ready for the Super Bowl this weekend, huh?
Yeah, just getting ready for the Super Bowl, getting all the stuff gathered up. We might go rent a TV, do that type of thing this year.
Right on. I saw that Safer Arizona is going to be putting on a protest out front of the Super Bowl this year. Any plans to make it out to that?
I'm kind of on the fence about that one because I just that protest would, I don't know, I don't want to be the annoying protest guys.
Yeah. It's like there's a line, you know. It's like people want to have fun and go to the Super Bowl and enjoy themselves, you know, and you don't want to be the guy that's like trying to be a buzzkill or anything. But gee, we got a team fighting to be two-time Super Bowl champ from a legal state, so that's cool for our side.
Yeah, go and support them. Go and hold the weed state win signs, and then and then have a sign that says, "Hey, we're trying to legalize for our state too."
There you go. Hey, maybe if Arizona legalized marijuana, the Cardinals get a little closer to a Super Bowl.
Maybe the Suns would get closer to to whatever the trophy in basketball is.
NBA championship? Yeah. I don't know. Portland Trailblazers got something to say about that. I mean, we're in a legal state, and our team's name is Blazers, and we're nicknamed Rip City. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, you might as well be the Denver Nuggets.
Good point. All right, let's get to some music. We got Electric Bob's Boogaloo coming up at 8 o'clock tonight. What's on tap for the show?
I got a house mix going on. It's all really soulful house, kind of disco house.
Right on. Looking forward to that. Join us at 8 o'clock Pacific time. Get that electronic music Jones fulfilled on Electric Bob's Boogaloo. And then here for our 420 break, there were 3 songs that loaded up in the Meaure, but I think I got the right one. Is it this one with the Greek name?
Myasimiakos, yeah.
There we go. Tell us about that.
I think he's a producer out of Finland.
I thought it was Greek.
No, yeah, he might be Greek, but I know he's out of Finland.
Okay.
He produces this. It's like experimental drum and bass music. It's just really, really heavy and has a lot of like really broken percussion and broken beats that I love that type of music.
All right. Well, let's
get. This is one of his tracks. It's going to be on my record label, Dark Till Dawn Records, and we're going to put out an EP pretty soon of a collection of his stuff.
All right, let's get to it. It's Wannabe Gangsta. Enjoy.
This is a journey into sound.
can get 420 Radio on the go with the TuneIn Radio app for all mobile platforms. Go to rad-r.us/420tunein or just click the TuneIn Radio icon below the live radio feed on 420radio.org. Are you a hypocrite? If you live a closeted cannabis lifestyle, you are. Read about 7 people living a closeted cannabis lifestyle who are on the verge of coming out in The Hypocrites by Meaure K. Eaton. Available at areyouahypocrite.net. You can purchase the book on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, also available on iTunes. Check out Meaure K. Eaton on Facebook as well. Learn more at areyouahypocrite.net.
Fun.
Oh, hello. I'm Big Daddy, and I want you to join me at the Funky Roller Ring. We're partying hard over here, baby. So stop on by, check out the funky grooves, and shake your booty too.
Don't get in too deep, brother. Don't get in too heavy. Don't get so you can move about whenever you get ready.
Growing plants indoors can be a rewarding hobby, but electricity bills can go through the roof. Then you have to cool down all those big hot lights. It can drive a grower insane. With Lush LED lighting, you can solve many of these issues and double your rewards. Matt and his scientists have developed the perfect light for flowering plants with far less cost and heat. And the results? Very effective. Check out LushLEDlighting.com right now.
Welcome back, everybody. 35 and a half after the hour. Radical Russ here, Toker Talk Radio. This is Kick-Axe. And it is what you think it is. Yeah, nothing quite like a hair metal rendition of a Fleetwood Mac tune. Gotta love that. That's a Kick-Axe. Members of Kick-Axe were brothers of brothers who were in Quiet Riot. It was a very interesting situation. That's the kind of stuff we're playing and talking about on the Herb Thrasher Flower Hour every Friday night, 8 p.m. Pacific, live here from Rolla J Studios with your host. He's made of metal and marijuana, Herb Thrasher. Great stuff on that show. So, welcome back. I wanted to talk a little bit about some more news stories, and there's a situation in Michigan. Now, I remember the first time I went to Michigan. This was, again, back in my mid-90s consulting career, and I had a job in Detroit. And I was outside of Detroit. It was like one of the Heights or the Springs or something like that. One of those suburbs, right? But anyway, I'm in Detroit, Michigan for the first time in my life. I've got a rental car. And, you know, for a place that's called the Motor City, it sure had the shittiest roads I've ever driven on. don't know if any Michiganders are in the chat room or anybody's been to Michigan, but if you've ever driven the roads around Detroit, particularly, and again, this was the 90s, they sucked. They were awful. I didn't see potholes. I saw pot craters. I mean, it was ridiculous, right? So I'm checking out this columnist, Tim Skubick. He writes for mlive.com. And he's referring to this pothole problem that they apparently still have in Michigan. And the governor the governor has a proposal to fix potholes that he's putting on the May ballot, right? Like some primary ballot or something, right? And his proposal is to raise taxes. Raise a sales tax. Is it a sales tax? I'm not sure. Let me make sure. But, yeah, he wants to raise these taxes. It's a sales tax hike to fix the potholes, to actually, fix the roads. And they took a poll on this in Michigan, and they found that only 43% of the voters support a sales tax proposal. Now, this is a thing, it has to go before the voters, right? I don't know if this is a Michigan law thing about tax proposals, but it's going to be on the ballot in May. And currently only 43% of the voters say that they would support raising a sales tax to fix the roads. Even voters who are usually sympathetic to these things, women voters who are sympathetic to schools and to fixing roads and all that, aren't backing this idea of raising the taxes. There is not a single age group that backs the sales tax hike. The youngest people, 18 to 34, had the highest support, but even there, they're not a majority. But the governor continues to push this sales tax hike. Now, this sales tax, if it passes, not only is it going to fix the potholes, supposedly, but a $200 per pupil increase goes to the schools. And you'd think teachers would be all for that, right? Let's get more money to the schools. But even the teachers don't want to support this sales tax deal. And maybe they would want to support it, but they don't have the money to. Their unions are broke. They don't have the money to go out and campaign for this. So the governor is kind of out on his own, and he's backing this duck, this loser of an initiative that's already at 43%. Now, most people who tell you about ballot initiatives will say you want to go in the 60s. If you're going to start a major campaign for a ballot initiative, you want to start with support in the 60s, because the closer you get to election time, the more criticism it'll get, and it'll drop your support. And you hope that it doesn't drop any further than the 50% you need to pass. So he's at 43%. and the poll asked, how many people opposed it? It was 49% opposed. So he's almost got a majority opposed to it already. But the governor of Michigan says, no, that's conventional wisdom. I don't think that's a problem, that we're only at 43%. He seems to think that a sales tax is going to get more popular as the election approaches. Now, all of this would be inside Michigan politics. Who gives a shit for the rest of us nationwide if it weren't for the other part of this, and that the marijuana folks, pro-marijuana coalition that commissioned this poll, also asked about a proposal to tax marijuana to fix the roads. Now understand, Michigan's got medical marijuana, got it in 2008, and 63 out of 63 counties in Michigan supported medical marijuana. And many of those counties were above 60% support. So it's not as if Michiganders don't have any idea what marijuana is, or they're a complete prohibition state thinking this. They found 64% of the people would vote to tax marijuana to fix the roads. 64%. They're performing 21 points better than the governor's chosen initiative to raise sales taxes. So why won't he look at what's the obvious solution here? Legalize and tax marijuana. And as they're calling it, pot for potholes. Tax pot for potholes. And schools, for that matter. But the governor says he will not let the survey results get him down. It doesn't deter me, he said. Why such opposition to such a clearly supported plan? You've almost got 2 out of 3 voters on your side already to tax marijuana to fix the roads. Something that if you put it on as an initiative proposal and even lost 10% of its support, would still pass. This just shows you how ingrained, and it's almost like, you know about dark matter, right? You know, scientists, they only can figure out what about 20% of the universe is. The rest of the universe is out there. We can't detect it, but we know that it has to be there because of its gravitational pull on the matter that we do see and the energy we do detect. And that's this idea of dark matter and dark energy. Energy and matter we can't detect, but we know it's there through inference. It has to be there or else things wouldn't work the way they work in the universe. Well, that's what it is with marijuana, man. There's this dark politics going on. There's some sort of dark politics going on. How do you get something that's got almost 2/3 of the people's support and you have politicians running from it like it's the plague? How is this possible? You've got a situation where the roads are clearly in need of repair, and the citizens are demanding they be repaired, and the citizens are rejecting the idea of a sales tax to repair that thing. And you've got a solution sitting in your lap, ready to be implemented, that has the support of the people, and you won't touch it. You run from it. There must be dark politics at work. We can infer from, we know politicians, right? They like an easy win. They like easy money. So here it is. They got an easy money, easy win, pot for potholes, ready to go. What's stopping them? Dark politics. That's what's stopping them. When we do these polls of how many people support marijuana legalization and taxation, they leave out a very important demographic of people. No, not the cell phone people versus the landline people. Not the rich people versus the poor people. Not the young people versus the old people. Not the Republican people versus the Democrat people. The demographic they always leave out of these polls is the corporate people. Corporations are people, my friend. Remember Mitt Romney telling us that? So if you were to do this same poll and ask the corporations of Michigan and the corporations of America what they thought of marijuana legalization to fix the roads, your poll results would be much, much lower. And since we know this is a country of the people, by the people, and for the people, where free speech reigns, but corporations are people and their money is speech, we know which poll really matters the most to those politicians, don't we?
The beginning of the end started in 1996 when California legalized weed for so-called medical purposes. 16 years later, Washington and Colorado legalized it outright and let people sell it from storefronts. And what has been the result?
The generation of millions of dollars in tax revenue for the states and creation of hundreds of new jobs in a growing multi-billion-dollar industry?
No. Well, yes, but at what cost?
Let's see. The cost of all that police time and money that's now spent going after real criminals and prisons with enough room to hold them all?
No. Well, yes, but look at what it's done to the people.
You mean that fewer of them are dying of alcohol, tobacco, and prescription-related causes since they've switched to cannabis, and many more are receiving medical benefit from a cheap, non-toxic healing herb?
No. Well, yes to all of that, but I can smell pot from my backyard. And I can't tell my kids not to do it because it's illegal.
You can get 420 Radio on the go with the Ustream video app for Android and iPhone. Go to rad-r.us/420Ustream or just click the Ustream app icon for Android or iPhone below the live radio feed at 420radio.org. At Herbie's Cannabis Seeds, we pride ourselves on bringing you the best quality seeds from the world's most respected cannabis seed producers, all at the lowest online prices. You can find Herbie's Seeds at herbiesheadshop.com. All cannabis seeds are sold as souvenirs and as a means of preserving cannabis genetics. Herbie's Seeds in no way intends to condone, promote, or incite the use of illegal or controlled substances. We strongly urge all prospective customers to check their national laws prior to placing an order. Herbie's Seeds at herbiesheadshop.com. Proud sponsors of The Russ Belville Show and 420 Radio.
Hey, this is Willie Nelson for Normal. And I smoke pot and I like it a lot. I learned a long time ago that marijuana is a lot safer than alcohol. There's nothing wrong with the responsible use of marijuana by adults. It's time we stopped arresting and started respecting those who smoke marijuana responsibly. To learn what you can do to help, contact Normal at norml.org or call toll-free 888-67-NORMAL.
When you are starting up a medical cannabis business, you want a fired-up lawyer who understands the needs of cannabis consumers. The law office of Lauren Vasquez is your fired-up lawyer for the cannabis industry. Visit her website, fireduplawyer.com, or call 1-855-MMJ-LAWS for more information. That's 855-665-5297 for Lauren Vasquez, your fired-up lawyer, or email fireduplawyer@gmail.com.
Welcome back, everybody. That's music from Sticky Mouse. The tune is entitled The Last Soul. Gonna catch you up on some Oregon marijuana news. A few different stories here from OregonLive.com/marijuana. Stuff I have to follow up on all the time here in my activism with Portland Normal. News story just came out 14 minutes ago from Oregon's Governor John Kitzhaber, MD, who suggests that Oregon's home marijuana possession limits are too high. Governor John Kitzhaber expressed concern Tuesday about how much marijuana Oregonians would be allowed to possess at home under the new legalization measure, and he indicated that he might ask legislators to seek lower limits. The governor, saying he has many concerns about the initiative approved by voters, questioned the logic of allowing voters to possess up to a half pound of marijuana at home, but just 1 ounce in public. Quote, "The amount you can actually grow in a home grow operation seems to me to exceed the amount that you're supposed to have legally. I don't know how you enforce that." End quote. Jesus. Oh, kids. All right, look. Let me explain something to you, Governor. Oregon voters, 56% of them, more than whom voted for you, by the way, approved of a legalization that allows adults to cultivate 4 marijuana plants per household. 4 marijuana plants per household. Now, already, that's really conservative, Gov. Colorado allows people to grow 3 mature, 3 immature plants. Alaska allows 3 mature, 3 immature. Washington, D.C. is going to allow 6 plants per person, 12 plants per household. So of the places that allow home cultivation for all adults, Oregon's going to have the lowest plant count limit. Again, not considering Washington, whose plant count limit is 0. When you cultivate 4 marijuana plants, even if you are a complete idiot in cultivation, have no idea what you're doing, and you drop 4 beans into 4 pots and you grow some pot plants. If your limit of possession is 1 ounce, Governor Kitzhaber, each one of your plants may produce no more than 1/4 ounce. Now, Gov, someone who knows what they're doing growing a marijuana plant indoors and even a modest grow operation can get 4 to 6 ounces off of a plant. It's not unheard of to get 12 ounces or 16 ounces off an indoor plant. And once you move them outdoors, we're talking 3 to 5 pounds if you're really good at this. So why would we want to have a legalization that turns someone into a felon the moment they harvest their plants. That's why Oregon proposes an 8-ounce limit at home, but a 1-ounce limit in public. And furthermore, that 8-ounce limit is also low when you compare it to what's allowed in Colorado. In Colorado, a person may possess at the grow site all the results of their harvests, plural. All the results of their harvests, plural, is a number without an upper bound. You get my drift? Son, what are these 200 pounds of marijuana doing in your home? Why, officer? Those are the results of my harvests. I've harvested often. Real big plants. What's the cop gonna do? Okay? In contrast, in Oregon, we didn't leave it up to some vague number harvests that could not be identified. We gave cops a bright line because, cops are stupid and they like real simple things to deal with, right? So we gave him 8 ounces. You can put it on a scale and see if he's legal. So we actually have a lower home possession limit than Colorado has, and we haven't heard horror stories out of home possession and home cultivation going on in Colorado. So that's why, Governor Kitzhaber, we allow people to possess up to a half pound at home. And we've got to keep this, and it's about time that we follow what the people voted for. These legislators are really starting to be quite offensive with their attitude of, well, yeah, they voted for legalization, but they weren't really reading the details. What? If that were the case, Measure 80 would have passed in 2012 if the details didn't matter, if it was just, hey, let's just legalize marijuana. But no, back in 2012, all we could hear from the politicians and the talking heads was, oh, well, this detail would make it so that it's a marijuana control commission, and this detail would allow unlimited processing and cultivation, and this detail, it was all about the details in 2012 when it didn't pass. 2014, we pass it with the greatest vote support of any state that's passed legalization. And now suddenly, oh, we didn't know what we were doing. Well, we just saw legalization and marked it. We didn't care about the details. Bullshit, we didn't care about the details. The details were in large part of why so many of us supported it. The detail that didn't have 5 nanogram per se DUID in it is part of why I supported it. The detail that not only gave us reasonable limits on possession of marijuana, concentrates, edibles, tinctures, and plants, but also decriminalized double those amounts and defelonized 4 times those amounts was a large reason why I supported this initiative. So don't tell us that, this attitude they've got in Salem, this idea that, the people voted it, but now we need to, the serious people need to put the proper limits on it because the people just couldn't have possibly understood what's going on. Here's what Senator Ginny Burdick, she's a Democrat out of Portland, she's co-chair of the joint committee that's reviewing marijuana implementation. She's concerned about the home possession limit because of fear that it could lead to diversions to the black market. Quote, we need to take our best shot at setting the right limit. Folks, we did. We wrote the best limit in the law. If the people didn't think it was the right limit, Senator Burdick, they would have rejected it. These legislators are trying to solve problems that don't exist yet. They're trying to look into the crystal ball and see, if there's 8 ounces home possession, why, that's going to lead to a bunch of black market diversion. How do you know? You haven't tried it yet. Implement the law as it was written. We're not talking about legalizing plutonium or heroin or PCP or something where if we make a big mistake, oh my God, it's going to cause terrible repercussions. If we've made a mistake with what the home grow limit is, and it leads to black market diversion, well, it's not like people haven't grown marijuana in Oregon at home and sold it on the black market before. We're not dealing with anything new. We then might need to tweak numbers a little bit. But let's try it first as the people voted for it and see what happens. And this idea that it's going to lead to diversions in the black market. Folks, here in Portland, Oregon, marijuana might as well have been legal for the past 5 years. If you wanted to grow weed at home and sell some to your friends here and there, every opportunity existed to do so with very little risk of getting caught. On top of that, we got people with medical marijuana cards, some people who are on disability, fixed incomes, who make quite a nice supplement to their income by selling some of their medical marijuana to other people. Don't pretend like it doesn't happen. The question that I think is salient here is, once we've legalized marijuana and given adults access to stores where they can buy it, won't that lower the black market overall? Won't that make the profit in the black market far less available? And wouldn't that disincentivize people from wanting to take up black market marijuana sales? Seems pretty easy to me. Well, folks, time flies when you legalize. That's all the time we got for today. Thanks for joining us for Hour 2, Toker Talk Radio, and make sure you join us tomorrow on the Russ Belville Show. We're here every weekday at 3 p.m. Pacific Time, and tomorrow's guest, Tanya Davis from Responsible Ohioans on the legalization efforts in Ohio. For everyone here at 420 Radio, I'm Radical Russ. Thanks for joining us. And until next time, take care of each other, Tokers.
This is the Russ Belville Show. The Russ Belville Show is blogging and podcasting daily at radicalruss.com.
You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it. You take a seed, you plant